All right, in this play right here, we're going to go from ace over to trips early. And what we're going to do is run a play that you've seen a lot of where we're going to show zone action away. We're going to get the go or mandatory outside release called a more route. Evans is going to show the flash on the quick screen to Rabbit, and we're going to follow off of this. And what you're doing is you're leveraging the corner to your whole player, basically your hook curl defender. And you're going to try to layer it between. So if this guy's sitting level and this guy's got him deep, he's going to throw the deep ball. If he gains depth over the top of that, the follow should open up right behind it, which it does here. And this is something that's been very successful to us running against zone defense, and it works very well here as they bail out. The outside hook curl walks down. Now you've got your leverage. He's attacking flat because he sees the rabbit. They're running a cover two concept right here, and what you get is you trap the corner and the hook player right here are bailed and thinking that he's going to get it on the rabbit. So realistically, you could call this a type of fox play, but what you got is a layer. He's going to be over the top. He can't get there, so you're going to throw the number two receiver in the hole, and that's Lucky. Great catch. Good throw by It's 3rd and 8. We need a play to convert here to keep the drive going. And honestly, I really don't understand what Six's route progression should be here, because what we're running on play side where he wants to go is a sluggo. So the inside guy is going to run basically a wall off vertical. We're going to get a little stagger by Lucky. He's going to run the slant underneath it, and that's sluggo all day long. What I would do over here, if you're going to push the mandatory outside release, I would run some type of slot fade or maybe run a wheel route or something that pulls this free safety to the other side of the hash, because this route progression doesn't work well, because where Dominic goes, he's almost running a push to run a dig route almost right here, almost like he's trying to do an understand over Mike, ends up digging across. And I'm thinking to myself, if this comes open, which it does, and you complete this pass, why would you want to bring an extra defender over to this side of the football with this route by this guy? It seems to me I would stay everything on this side of the actual of the field for this route progression, because it's run very well. And this is all on Carson Beck, guys. His feet work. He gets really tall, statuish in the pocket, and he really doesn't do a good job of throwing this football. His mechanics are not very good, and the way that he doesn't push into this makes the ball sail. But you can see here how if he runs something this way, he pulls this guy and this guy two towards him off of this slot fade, staying straight on a vertical, whatever it may be. And now he catches it, not only catches it, but scores. Because Lovett brings his guys to the football. If Lucky catches this, he's still probably going to get tackled because of what our receiver progression is on this side. Because Sluggo is typically a two receiver game, especially running it to the short side of the field. So I'm still kind of baffled by the fact that we would bring a receiver from the other side to bring defenders to it if we do actually complete this ball. But again, another poor throw by Beck cost him for another interception. We're going to get the pin and pull here, toss sweep. Really surprised when I saw it in game that they've got him at fullback. But as many people that are naysayers about his ability to block in space, he does a pretty good job right here. Just so you understand what we have here, you're going to get more or less Delp coming back down inside to get leverage to kick. Lucky is going to take first man inside because Truss realistically on his pull has first man outside, and then Urasek has whatever leaks through, so that basically we have outside leverage by the time it's said and done. And guys, I call this 8 boss. This is just a tall sweep pin and pull concept. When it's blocked correctly, it's efficient. I know a lot of people don't like this, but this is old school to me that I like, because we're underneath center. We got a traditional fullback. We're in basically we got an extra blocker on the left-hand side at tackle. It looks like a lineman. So we got Monroe Freeling over to Ernest Green and Dylan Fairchild with Michael Morris and Xavier Truss. So basically with Jared Wilson, we have 6 actual offensive linemen on the line of scrimmage. But you still have another receiver out wide to the left side. So just a very unique perspective here as we run the pin and pull toss sweep for the first touchdown that we have on the short field. I really like what we do when we block it correctly. So you see Delp block down, Truss gets out, Urasek picks up the leakage, touchdown. Now, this is after the sudden change, Everett's interception. We go empty set right here with what I call a Frank set, which is empty right with your F-back going oppo to that. So you got 2 receivers to this side, you got 3 receivers to this side. And actually what I call this to the play side is Texas. So what you get out of this is you're going to get a smash concept, either a corner out route intermediate, you're going to get the quick hitch on this side, and you're going to get the vert. I actually call that 3-receiver progression Texas. Funny enough, it was tagged in NASCAR that way. On this side, you're just going to get the vertical with another hitch on this side. So basically, he could either go to the short side of the field or the wide side of the field. But I know why he goes to the wide side of the field is because this corner is sitting tight. The grass is behind him. So he doesn't want to throw this because of obviously the close proximity that he is on ETN. But on the other side, I don't think you're getting as much of that. Honestly, to tell you the truth, Texas is aware that we're probably with sudden change going to attack, which is what I did as an offensive coordinator. I wanted to bust it open after this play. So they drop 8 on this. So this is the quick throw. He sees the corner bail. He really honestly could have thrown to either side. I don't know really why he chose from the left hash to go all the way across the field to the trip side and not take ETN to the left side because they're running the same route. But he throws to the wide side of the field, I guess, to show his arm off. If there was any NFL scouts there to see a left hash to right hitch throw here. But this is something that Dylan Bell's got to be smarter. He is smarter than this. Where's all of his bad guys right now? People who are watching. They're inside, right? So why in the world would you try to come back inside to outrun that? Why not take your eyes, put your foot in the ground right here, and wheel out of this? Yeah, does he come and chase you and tackle you? Yeah, but you get a lot more yards running that way, away from the bad guys, instead of running back into 3 hats and get tackled actually for less yards than what you caught it for. You screw yourself in that situation, 86, and I don't understand why you're trying to do so much. Put your foot in the ground and get tackled about right here versus where you get tackled at right there. Can't say enough on 3rd and 1 why, of course we need this play big time. It's 20-0. 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. I mean, we sustained this drive right here. We put ourselves at a very good chance of, extending the drive. You never know what happens when you extend a drive. But I want to point out basically when I said I kind of bragged on Truss earlier in the game, this is all him on this play right here in particular. Jared Wilson at the last minute gets beat off the edge, but everybody else is sound. I want you to watch Truss's big ass get blown up by this guy right here. He falls down like a naked giraffe, and this guy is the one who gets penetration into the backfield. And I want you to see if, because we're going to run the split zone concept off of this, all right, that if he gets his block, I want you to watch what you have right there, okay? Now, if he is just working his edge and getting him inside, we have the split block coming back from 84. We got a jump cut to right here, okay? We fit right off of that. Look what we've got. Lucky doing a good job of holding his guy up off the jet motion, but Truss losing his guy at the line of scrimmage screws this whole thing up. And because he gets there, that allows him to push back inside to where Jared is coming off of his block, and that's the reason why it looks like 2 hats are there. But if Truss doesn't look like an absolutely most unathletic human being on this play right here and just gets in his way like he's done in the past, we have a better play right here by ETN getting off of that and fitting right off of his rear end and getting a long run out of this. But instead, we don't get the first down. My good friend Barry Hall is an offensive line coach that I've worked with for many years. I know that we used to run slide protection off the tight end release, but to me, this would be a Roger call. And I want to show you kind of what the pass pro seems to be for me based off what I know and what I've learned from Coach Hall, who played in the league for 3 years and was an offensive tackle at Tennessee, Middle Tennessee. And, I wanted to be able to have an identity here to kind of give you a Roger call concept, which means we've identified the mic to the backside here. So what we're doing is these 3 guys should be working to the right because Lucky has either got an inside release or an outside release backwards there. Sorry, but still you get the idea. He's leaving, so he's not in the pass progression for the pass pro here. So what should happen with a Roger call is Monroe Freeling should step out, and he's going to end up stepping out to allow, if he runs inside of him, that's trust his guy. Jared's going to step out to end up taking him. And now Dylan Fairchild be stepping, and if he comes across, which he should right here, he takes him, and then Ernest Green has got the guy on the backside. ETN is responsible for this linebacker, so if this linebacker sits, now he comes up and runs the check, and then he runs his check down off of this. But the problem is we get Truss screwed up right here. He gets too far inside on this leverage. Because like I said, Monroe Freeling should not be responsible for him. Even though he's lined up outside of him as a 5 technique, Truss should be responsible for him. Jared should be responsible for him. That is the reason why you call this either a slide protection or, in my case, I would just call it Roger, because Lucky's leaving on an outside release. So Monroe Freeling, thinking that he's got Truss inside to help, sits here, and all of a sudden he sees this guy coming out of his right eye, and he's trying to help, and it looks really bad here because he's just sticking out his left arm, which is what he should do because he's responsible for this late guy coming here. Truss should be actually working automatically to him, leaving Jared alone. He should not be trying to double team that. He should be taking on the guy that was head up on Monroe Freeling. So he gets back late, really late. Monroe looks bad here, just reaching out. It's how you get your arm ripped out of socket, Monroe. And, of course, it looks really bad by Truss. And this is the problem. Another thing I'm seeing is Ernest Green getting beat like this way too much. And I know this guy is a good player. You know, I watched him and got film on him a lot and was really impressed with him off the edge. I knew that Ernest Green was going to have a time with him, but I'm just seeing too many of this right here getting beat and looking really ugly at it. But Truss screwing up the Roger protection, he has got nothing to worry about. There should be no screw ups. This is just man on man. Take care of your big, win your box, and he doesn't do it. So Truss is getting beat, Green is getting beat, and now we've got to watch this play for a hot minute, and I have to say this has to be something like power, which doesn't really fit the rules of power here, but it's not zone either. And I don't know if this is a true duo call, but when you do that, typically you're going to double team the emphasis of attack, which is the 3 technique, which would be sitting over the right shoulder of Truss right here. This guy right here, you would end up double teaming him to work to the backside, and you would have somebody to kick out the end. But in this case, what they're going to do right here is they're going to run. It's not zone, because the reason why I say that is the reason why I know it's zone, because if it's zone, everybody should be stepping to a space and leaving the backside guy free for him to come across and split on. Okay. Now, Lucky still comes across to do this, but it's blocked up front a little different because Monroe steps out to block his guy. Truss blocks man on. Jared blocks man on. Fairchild blocks man on. Green kind of works into him and sort of sets the wall here. But we do get a pull by 7 to fit up in here. So, you know, that's a power concept. But if it's power, Monroe Freeling should be working down inside to this backer, and there should be an extra guy pulling to kick out for him to roll up inside. So to me, this is, I don't know what the blocking scheme for this is, but it looks good because we're in pistol, so it's offset, and we open up to the left-hand side, which makes me think, okay, well, this is duo, all right? But because of him pulling, it's an easy fit off of this. But what ends up happening is Lucky ends up blocking the nose who comes off Jared, who X's, and Lucky takes him, Jared climbs, and because of him coming straight downhill, look at the plane right here we're on. ETN is still on the midline right now. Still on the midline from where the center snapped the football, even though I know Jared's moved a little bit. But because of the way we move this and squeeze everything down, now we can make our jump off of this. He ends up getting the block on the nose that gets the top on the X, and now Trevor's got a good run right here. Good job blocking outside in space and a good run by our offensive line. And an empty set right here. And, you know, Carson Beck has kind of already got his mind made up where he wants to go on this. But what you're going to notice is the guy on top of Lucky is going to end up coming down over the top, and the safety replaces to fit them in man on this when you got trips to the side, 4 over 3. I get why Carson wants to go to the short side of the field. Lucky notices this and tells him, you can see that there's actually pre-snap communication here between him and Lucky as he shows this guy walk down. He's saying, hey, he's coming, it's hot. Now, something I think we've got to do, and I don't know why we don't, but he continues to run, I guess, the route called, because what Arian Smith is on outside off the screen is a more route, which is just a mandatory outside release to pull and make this leverage guy turn and run. And obviously, he's coming down over the top to fit this, whether it be an inside-outside cut, he's got him in man. But what I've always taught is you replace where he left from. So his original displacement was about right here, and he comes up here. So what you do, if he's hot, he becomes the hot guy. So I would just tap my hat real quickly, say I'm going to replace where he comes from. And what I would do out of this is I would just go right where he left from right there, just a 5-yard hitch and let him sit, and you throw the football right where he leaves from. He comes up and makes a tackle, yes, but we got a 5-yard gain off of this. If you think about it, if he goes right there and he throws the football now knowing it's hot, they're both on the same page. But yet still he runs the outside cut. The safety comes down and takes that. Carson wants to make that throw. And look at this right here. Look at his position, because he is so ready to make that throw. He has to pull the ball back down, reset, and now does a pretty decent job of getting back square to the line of scrimmage, and now goes to Dominic trying to run the under Sam over Mike, and it's just too late. So, what hurts there is that they don't have some kind of hot distribution from this to where you see that a little bit quicker, so that you call that hot and you don't, run your route. You run right where he replaces from. You catch a 5-yard hitch and get tackled. But instead, then he makes it look really good because he's off balance. He wanted to make that throw. Now goes to Dominic. Looks the target on Dillon Bell. And, this is a play we'd love to have back, because if he completes this pass on the dig, this is something we like to do out of a 5-man receiver progression right here. We're going to send Arian out because right now we're in Deuce's left, right nasty. So this is like a pro right, but the Z is in tight, so he's going to move him out. So you end up basically going into just true ace. Now, when the ball is snapped, what they're going to do is bring just 3-man pressure. So that means they're dropping 8 with us running a 5-receiver progression here. What you're going to see is just a quick shoot route with ETN. Arian is on a vertical to clear, because what we're going to be doing behind this is something we love doing, is we'll bring the double digs in behind it. Now, what's unique here is that we're going to bring this across, which I don't understand why we sit this down, because if he's in a man-to-man situation, which it doesn't look like they are right here, they're in zone. So why not just keep running right here? I don't understand why we sit down in our little area, because it puts us right here. If we keep running right here, that really ends up being the throw because of what's clearing behind him. But maybe that's the progression route that we want right here. Maybe that's what he's been told to do in zone, is to sit down and find the honey hole. But what I would do in zone is continue, because most of the time the outside is going to be cleared out because of what you're doing behind that. So, this is another play that I really wish Carson Beck, puts it more on the front side. This is a good job of reading over the top and seeing that this is covered by the front dig. And this is, you think about it, 5-receiver progression into 8 guys dropping, and you get the throw you want. And even Dillon Bell having to adjust back, he still should have caught that football. And this is something that really destroys you right out of the gate in the first series. Second play, he's already dropped the slant, and now we've gone right back to him on this play right here, and there's another drop. He's got to be able to adjust and catch the ball in the air. So here it is, full speed. Pass pro up front, 5. They got a Roger call right here. They're going to block right because of the way Jared Wilson's moving. 5-on-3 should be great pass pro. Ernest Green letting his guy get to him. I really don't know why this play bugs me so much, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it out here at you, because it didn't work very well when we flooded the zone last time. This is a 3rd and 4 play. We're trying to extend the drive to run out the clock, being up 2 touches. But basically what you're going to get is boot action to help the flood come open. And we're running it with all 3 of our tight ends. So you're going to get Delp on the corner. You're going to get Lawson Lucky coming across on the drag. And just like a while ago when I showed you when Dillon Bell went down because he was trying to come across the formation, this is the reason why you're off the line of scrimmage. And you'll notice that Urasic gets across to the flat. And there's your 3 levels. So you've got basically, it's not really a 1 right there. It should be 1 here, 2 here, 3 here. And I want you to see Lucky being so wide open, it's not even funny. Now, I know this end spooks Carson off the play action deal, but this is the one where Carson actually runs to get the first down. And I get probably why he's a little spooked off of this, but the minute he turns, he's got somebody in his face. But once he comes off of this, he's got to think, I know I've got Trevor Etienne that's really kind of setting out here. So you got sort of a double flat concept, if I'm not mistaken. That's not bad. I kind of like that additional person there. But typically the F-back is responsible for sealing that so that you can get the 3 guys out in their progressions. But by putting him out, that makes him free on the naked. Obviously, Urasic is dead. But I want you to watch. Lawson Lucky, there is nobody within 20 yards of him. And when Carson turns off the throw, I mean, there's never it almost looks like he's looking at him right here. I wish he would have seen him because, of course, it would have been wide open. But I get it. He's spooked now. He's ready to run. But this is another thing that just drives me nuts. He panics way too hard. I don't, Lawson's running around. I mean, this middle of the field is kicking his ass. He's got to turn and try to, dodge the umpire, I guess, is who he's trying to maneuver through. And Carson does a great job of getting through everybody and getting the first down out of this. But, man, what a play it would have been if he could have got it to Lucky. This is absolutely insane because it seems to me the only way we can get the ball to Delp is on a trick play. But still, great play, great call by Bobo. This was after the conversion of the first down to Arian Smith. And what you're going to get right here, Aaron's going to end up running a vertical to run this safety off and this man-to-man corner off with him. Dominic's going to take off running like he's running the reverse, which makes the eye discipline of the inside guys who see this coming to kind of drift in this direction and kind of get lost in space, while Delp stands out here like he's blocking for the zone play that Cash gets, that he's going to flip back to Dominic, who's going to flip back to him. And all while that's happening, Delp sitting here getting lost in space and gets the follow route to Arian. It's very similar to what we did to Lawson Lucky in the beginning of the game. We just do it with a little more trickery here so that the eye discipline is a little lacking. And this is a huge play for us, ladies and gentlemen. This is, like I said, the second play after Arian catches the conversion of the first down on 3rd and 10 out of the shadow of our own end zone. This couldn't have come at a better time. But watch Delp slide out after all the reverse action, and he is wide open on this play. It's a great play call by Bobo. Delp getting downfield and getting as much yards play, because I would never bring somebody on the line of scrimmage across the formation to try to get into the quick out lane. When you bring jet motion and obviously show like you're running zone left, it should pull all your second level guys down. Not necessarily what it's going to do here, but when Ernest Green takes a step back, because they're kind of setting a slide left protection on boot action, and when he does, he gets in the way of Dylan Bell, and Dylan Bell ends up getting screwed out of this rotation because Arian is going to run the deep. So he's your last alternative here if he can get this guy beat. All right. Delp should honestly he looks like he's trying to run some kind of whip route, which puts him as the first receiver, okay, in the progression. Arian will be the third. And honestly, Dylan from here should have ran a shallow drag and got deeper as he went across, and he should have been at that intermediate level being number 2, all right? And then what you get out of this, you actually could end up running something back from a safety valve, even though Carson is booting in this direction right here. He still has something he could throw back to on this side if they wanted to run some kind of barnyard play. But what you're going to notice out of this, based off what I just drew you right here, this is what you get. You get sort of and then he's sort of meandering here. Arian does get off and get in on his corner route. We get obviously the laser action, but because he gets knocked off his route right here, he ends up kind of coming across right here. And when Carson gets off his boot, he boots out this way, and he's got basically now Bell here at 1, Delp here at 2, and Arian here at 3, and they're all dead. But the thing that bothers me probably the most is a veteran quarterback learns off of this. Once you boot, watch this right here as he gets in the way on Bell, knocks him off the route, almost knocks him down. Here's what you got to do. You realize, I'm dead. All right, Delp's covered. There's no sense in throwing it to Bell right here. He's covered basically by him, and they've bracketed him. Throw the ball out of bounds. Throw the ball out of bounds. Why go down? Why go down? You're outside the tackle box. Throw the ball out of bounds right there. You'll be perfectly fine. Throw it out of bounds. You are too experienced of a quarterback to go down on your knee right there and lose 2 yards because this play didn't develop the way it should have. Be the veteran quarterback we need you to be, kid. But I don't know. I don't know if this is a bust. If they told him to run this like this on the line of scrimmage, that honestly is probably one of the worst play calls we could have for this, because there's no way he's going to get around this and get lost in space. And I get it, running into your tackle. Now you're screwed up. Now you're not on the 3 levels you should be on. And then Carson rewards the defense by just going down. By far, this was the best play that we ran all night long, was a simple curl option route midway, or actually towards the end of the third quarter. Texas had just scored, got all the momentum back. They're down by 1 score, guys. We are 3rd and 10 in the shadow of our own goalpost on about the negative 10.5 yard line for us. And we run basically, they're running a match zone cover 1 right here where they're matching up with us. And what we're going to get out of this is a push to hook curl. He could go either way. He goes inside because of the leverage by the DB here. You're going to end up getting a straight seam to push off the safety and deepen the whole player who's running with him to bracket. And you're going to get another backside curl, the one that got intercepted, that got taken back after all the chaos that happened. We're running the exact same play here. But instead of going to the left side, we end up going to the right side. We got great pass pro up front. Carson takes it. Of course, you can't see it because of the logo. And he makes a great throw right here to Arian Smith for the conversion of the first down. And we get this is a drive killer for Texas, and it definitely is the drive that wins, to me, the ball game for us. This is a critical first down in a critical situation, and it couldn't have been coming a better time for us to have great pass pro, to have a great route run, and have a good ball thrown when it needs it. Guys, this is so huge in the ball game right here. Can't tell you how big this was.